I am a 27-year-old male, and I have been dating my 24-year-old girlfriend for 8 months. She has a close-knit group of friends from high school, and she always communicates with them before making decisions. We first met at a work-related event a year ago and hit it off immediately. After a few invitations, she agreed to go on a date with me. I later found out that the reason it took her a bit of time to agree was because she was waiting for her friend's approval of me. At first, I found it odd that she needed her friend's permission to date, but she explained that it's common in her friend circle, so I didn't pursue the issue further. I've met her friends since, and they all seem like good people, so I have no concerns. They just seem to care about their friend, and I understand that. It seems to work for my girlfriend. A few weeks ago, she mentioned that she has always dreamed of going on a beach trip with her partner, but it has never happened due to various reasons. As her birthday approaches, I saw the perfect opportunity to surprise her with the beach trip she has always wanted. I arranged everything, including a relaxing spa treatment to make the trip even more special. I'm not very good at keeping secrets, but I managed to keep this one, eagerly looking forward to our trip. This is an important gesture for me, aimed at creating an unforgettable experience for both of us. However, just a few days before her birthday, she explained that she would rather celebrate with her friends, who have been planning for weeks. She assured me that we could celebrate together later. I suggested maybe her friends could reschedule, but she was adamant about spending her birthday with her friends and hoped I wouldn't be too upset. Despite her reassurances, I couldn't hide my disappointment. I tried to persuade her, but it only made her upset, insisting on her plan and expecting me to accept it. Her response hurt me deeply, leading me to cancel the beach trip altogether. The loss of money from canceling the trip was disappointing, but my greater concern was feeling replaced by her friends. I know she has a long history with them, but as her boyfriend, I was really looking forward to celebrating together, especially since she usually spends her weekends with her friends. I have always respected the importance of her friendships and have never been discontented with the time they spend together. I just wanted her to prioritize our time together this time. I realize this might sound selfish, but feeling like a second choice is demoralizing. I decided to cancel the trip without telling her about my plan, as the surprise was already ruined by her choice to be with her friends instead of me. Her birthday was yesterday, and she celebrated with her friends, who seemed to enjoy it. My friends thought the situation was strange, but it doesn't matter to me. I was too upset and tried my best not to think about it. Today she came over, and I tried to act as if nothing had happened. She seemed happy, telling me how her friends got her drunk and how much fun they had, not even noticing my hurt. After a while, I felt like I was going to cry, and I didn't want to appear childish in front of her, so I made an excuse to go to the bathroom. I was very upset about everything that had happened in the past few days and didn't know how to tell her that I felt neglected without seeming insecure. Anyway, I washed my face and came out, so I could try to talk to her about how she made me feel. But when I came back, I noticed my girlfriend looked serious, and she came over to me with my phone in her hand. She showed me the screen of my phone, asking for an explanation as to why I canceled her birthday trip to the resort I had booked. They had sent a text expressing regret for the cancellation and notifying me that the refund had been processed. Given the whole situation, it seems my girlfriend finally realized something was wrong, yet she showed no remorse but was angry instead, which confused me. I calmly explained that I had canceled the beach trip after she indicated she would rather celebrate her birthday with her friends than with me. Her reaction was explosive. She accused me of ruining her birthday, calling my behavior immature, and criticizing me for not sharing my plans to persuade her to join me. I felt bewildered and unfairly accused because I had intended the trip to be a special surprise for her. It was her decision not to spend her birthday with me, choosing her friends, and even arguing with me when I wanted to discuss it. Her frustration only escalated during our communication, calling me immature and selfish for wanting to spend her birthday with her. This put me in a difficult position, trying to understand how wanting to celebrate her day in a special way had become such a contentious issue. Then she accused me again of deliberately ruining her special day. So I directly countered that if she had at least given me a chance to take her out, she would have known what I had prepared for her, so she could only blame herself in this situation, and calling me immature would not change what had happened. I told her she needed to reassess her priorities and not act as if she and her friends were still in high school. She was already very upset, and when I said this, she called me an asshole and left my house in tears. It has been 2 hours since she left, and although I initially felt better after the argument and said everything, now I feel like a complete asshole. I can't get the image of her crying out of my mind, feeling that I somehow ruined her birthday, even though the logical part of my brain says I'm not responsible, but I really, really like this woman, who is almost perfect except for her somewhat childish behavior with her friends. Let me make it clear, I really appreciate her loyalty to her friends, which is significant for her loyalty and reliability. However, sometimes it feels like she prefers their company to mine, which is quite painful. I believe anyone in my position would feel a similar hurt. In this particular situation, I may have reacted impulsively and may have caused her pain. I deeply regret my actions and words. Contrary to what I hoped, expressing my frustration did not bring me any relief. Now, I am in a whirlpool of confusion. On the one hand, I am inclined to apologize and put this disagreement behind us. However, on the other hand, I cannot shake the feeling that I am not the one at fault here. She has always prioritized her friends over me. Understanding that she has a longer history with them does not make the situation less painful for me. I am at a crossroads, not knowing how to proceed. The urgency is increasing, and I worry that if I don't act quickly, I might lose her forever. I don't want to take that risk, but I also don't want to be insincere like an apology. That's why I'm here asking, should I apologize for canceling the beach trip I planned for my girlfriend's birthday because she told me she wanted to spend that day with her friends? Update 1, a day has passed, and since our argument, this may be the longest time we haven't spoken to each other. It feels very strange, but I won't apologize to her first if that's what she expects. I have seriously considered this situation, and I just don't understand where I went wrong. I don't think I did, so I won't apologize. I guess my girlfriend has told her friends about this because a few minutes ago I checked my social media and realized that some people have blocked me. Understood, although some of her friends remain silent, others have gone into full drama mode, spreading obscure quotes and snapshots, portraying my girl as some kind of tragic hero, deserving of better treatment. Seriously, they are hyping her up, acting as if she is caught in some epic tragedy, rather than facing the consequences of her own choices. The worst part is, these same friends who always smiled and were sweet in front of me have now flipped the script and are trying to paint me as the villain. Come on, they know the real story. If they were really loyal to her, they would let her understand, instead of adding fuel to the fire. This is really low. You know, I'm starting to think they are just unhappy that she is in a stable relationship. Let's do some calculations. She has 7 friends, and no one has managed to keep a man by her side for more than a minute. Not throwing shade, but it does make me wonder why they are all serial short-termers. I am not someone who gives up at the first sign of trouble, and when it comes to relationships, I go all out, even before considering giving up. So this is really strange for me, it doesn't make sense. My girlfriend and I have had small arguments and disagreements before, but we always managed to resolve them within a few hours, and I don't think she has ever complained to her friends. I guess it's because her friends would only suggest breaking up at the slightest inconvenience. I don't want to break up with my girlfriend, and I do want to talk to her, but if she decides to listen to her friends and break up with me, well, that's her loss. I would be very hurt, but at least I know I did the right thing, being true to myself. Update 2, 3 days ago I posted the last update, when I realized that some of her friends had blocked me and might be encouraging her to break up with me. Correct about the suspicions I had. My girlfriend and I haven't spoken for 3 days, and after our argument, I gave up hope of reconciling, almost certainly that we were over. I was really upset and decided to take a day off from work to mope at home, watching something funny to feel better. But a few hours ago, my doorbell rang, and I was a bit surprised because I wasn't expecting anyone, but when I opened the door, I found my girlfriend standing there with a bouquet of my favorite chocolates. I was momentarily at a loss for words, not knowing how to react. As a man, I've never really been spoiled in a relationship, and such an apology seemed huge. I opened the door speechless, and then she broke the silence like a siren, apologizing for the whole mess and suggesting we get back together. I barely had time to process it when she began to tell me her story after our argument. She rushed to a friend's place where they were supposed to meet for brunch. She brought our drama there and confided in her brunch group about our breakup scene. Predictably, they rallied around her like an army, insisting she dump me immediately. They even chimed in that they were never fans of me, throwing my height and looks into the mix. Then, just like out of a script for stirring drama, one of them suggested she date another man to further twist the knife. It was then that alarm bells started going off in her head because she knew what her friends were suggesting was literally cheating and emotional manipulation. To her surprise, her other friends agreed with this strategy, even telling her they had tried it in the past and it always worked when it came to getting men to apologize. This was the first time she had told her friends about a serious relationship issue, and she was shocked at what her friends were suggesting. She told them she didn't want to do that, but it only made her friends mock her for being too weak and simple. They even said her compliant behavior was the reason I felt comfortable doing these mean things. I am my girlfriend's first serious adult relationship. Her first love was in high school and lasted a year, but they broke up when they went to college because he cheated. She didn't date anyone after that because of trust issues, etc. And of course, her friends never thought anyone was worth dating. So, although she did go on a few dates and had some short flings for fun, they never really meant anything. She told me she knew she wanted to work things out with me, and even though we've been together for less than a year, she's already attached to me in a way that can't be changed. Upon hearing her friends' advice and seeing what they posted just to make me angry, even mocking it as if it were some kind of funny joke, it made her realize that they were not actually providing her with any good relationship advice, and they might be toxic in their own relationships as well. She and I had the same thought. They could never be with the same person for more than a few months, and she concluded that they might not be the right people to get relationship advice from. She realized her mistake that day and even told her friends later that day that she wanted to apologize to me and resolve the issue, but by then they started telling her that she should just listen to them, saying that apologizing would set a bad precedent and make her appear weak. She tried to argue that she was really in the wrong here, and apologizing for her mistakes was not something to be ashamed of, but her friends became angry when she tried to disagree. After a few minutes of arguing, they gave her an ultimatum, saying that she either continues being friends with them or crawls back to me. My girlfriend mentioned that this was the exact phrase they used, and I was a bit shocked that they would say something like that because it's quite harsh. Although my girlfriend was eager to apologize to me and fix our relationship, she was also very afraid of losing her friends. She really didn't have anyone outside of this circle, and if she chose me, she would end up with no friends at all, which is why it took her 2 days to figure it out because she was crying in her room and binge-eating ice cream out of sheer frustration. But today she woke up with a clear mind, knowing she would rather be with me than with her friends, because these 2 days made her realize how toxic and controlling they were. They didn't even bother to check on her after meeting, only caring about some trivial gossip they heard about a girl from their high school. This made her realize that while she was ready to move forward and act like an adult, her friends were still acting like the mean girl cliques formed in high school, which could no longer be accepted. I think I was always right about her friends, so she decided to apologize to me and make things right because I am what she needs to make her life better. After her long speech, I was stunned for a few minutes, but when I realized what she was saying, I hugged her wordlessly, and we actually cried from relief. It's been a while since that happened, and we've decided to spend the next 2 days making up for lost time. We also plan to go on that cancelled beach trip next weekend, so I think everything has been resolved for the best. Update 3. Hey, I thought the last update would be the last one, but my girlfriend's friends are terrible people, so here I am again. 2 days ago, my girlfriend and I made up, and she shared a selfie of us online with a cute caption. Her friends saw it and immediately started calling and texting her, accusing her of breaking the girl code, calling her stupid and weak. They told her she had to delete the photo immediately, or else they would cut her off, but my girlfriend no longer cared and told them to go ahead. This seemed to make them even angrier, and they kicked her out of the group. I thought this might be the most they could do, but apparently not. They started posting all sorts of nonsense about my girlfriend, about how she was a woman without self-respect and a weak-minded person, and one even posted that she deserved to be cheated on. They basically started a whole hate campaign against her, even though she had blocked them, and people were still sending her everything that was posted and asking about it. Obviously, she was very upset about this, and I hate that I can't do much to stop it from happening. I asked her if she wanted me to get my lawyer involved so we could put an end to this, but she refused, saying that doing something so extreme would only make things worse. Obviously, I won't do anything without making sure she agrees, but it's really bad, and she has to deal with this situation. I feel very helpless and also very frustrated about everything that's happening. Her friends are just terrible women, completely without compassion or morals, and I can't even believe they would do this to someone who was a friend until 2 days ago. It's disgusting. Update 4. Well, my girlfriend fought back against her friends, and I am proud of her for standing up to them and showing the world what kind of terrible people they really are. Her friends have been posting about her all day yesterday, and even though she was very upset and had already blocked them, she decided she had enough. Today, she told me she was going to make sure they regretted talking to her online and expose them for the mean girls they have always been. She had a lot of texts from the group she used to be in, where her friends would gossip about other people in their high school and make fun of literally everyone, even the people they pretended to be friends with in their circle. So she took a few screenshots and decided to post them online, tagging everyone her friends had talked about. She herself had never participated because she didn't like gossip, and the people her friends talked about behind their backs were actually quite nice, so they had no reason to be so mean to them. After a while, the post basically brought a bunch of pure hatred from her high school classmates towards her old friends. In the comments, she didn't block them, which was one of the reasons, and she was happy to see her friends struggling to defend what they had said. Of course, they were very angry about this, and they added her to a group call and threatened to ruin her life. Now that she has fought back, but this time I called their bluff, telling them that if they even thought about trying to mess with me and my girlfriend, we would take legal action against them, so they better stop. They tried to argue with me, but I didn't accept it, completely telling them about that childish and frankly stupid behavior. I told them what I thought of them and how they were a bunch of losers pretending to be alpha females, still relying on their parents and boyfriends to pay for them everywhere. I finally told them to get a real job and stop harassing my girlfriend for attention. By then, I could hear some of them crying, and others tried to attack my girlfriend by calling her a pick-me, but it didn't matter anymore. I hung up the phone and blocked them all again from my girlfriend's phone. Now that we have finally got update 3, hi, I thought the last update would be the final one, but my girlfriend's friends are dreadful people, so here I am again. 2 days ago, my girlfriend and I reconciled, and she posted a selfie of us online with a cute caption. Her friends saw it and immediately began calling and texting her, accusing her of breaking the girl code, calling her foolish and weak. They told her she had to remove the photo immediately, or else they would cut her off, but my girlfriend no longer cared and told them to go ahead. This seemed to make them even angrier, and they kicked her out of the group chat. I thought this might be the extent of their actions, but apparently, it wasn't. They started posting all sorts of nonsense about my girlfriend, calling her a woman without self-respect, a weak-minded person, and one even posted that she deserved to be cheated on. They essentially launched a full-scale hate campaign against her, and even though she had blocked them, people were still sending her everything that was posted and asking about it. Naturally, she was very upset about this, and I hate that I can't do much to prevent it. I asked her if she wanted me to get my lawyer involved to put an end to this, but she declined, saying that such a drastic measure would only make things worse. Of course, I won't do anything without ensuring she agrees, but it's really terrible that she has to deal with this situation. I feel utterly helpless and equally frustrated about everything that's happening. Her friends are just dreadful women, completely devoid of compassion or morals, and I can't believe they would do this to someone who was a friend until 2 days ago. It's repulsive. Update 4, alright, my girlfriend fought back against her friends, and I'm proud of her for standing up to them and showing the world what truly awful people they are. Her friends have been posting about her all day yesterday, and even though she was quite upset and had already blocked them, she decided she'd had enough. Today, she told me she was going to make sure they regretted talking to her online and expose them for the mean girls they've always been. She had a bunch of texts from the group chats she used to be in, where her friends would gossip about other people in their high school, making fun of virtually everyone, even those they pretended to be friends with in their circle. So she took a few screenshots and decided to post them online, tagging everyone her friends had talked about. She had never participated because she didn't like gossip, and the people her friends spoke ill of behind their backs were actually quite nice, so there was no reason for them to be so mean. After a while, the post basically brought a wave of pure hatred from her high school classmates towards her old friends. In the comments, she didn't block them, which was one of the reasons, and she was glad to see her friends struggling to defend what they had said. Of course, they were furious about this, and they added her to a group call, threatening to ruin her life. Now that she has stood up for herself, I called their bluff, telling them that if they even thought about trying to mess with me and my girlfriend, we would take legal action against them, so they better stop. They tried to argue with me, but I wouldn't accept it, completely calling them out on their childish and, frankly, stupid behavior. I told them what I thought of them, how they were a bunch of losers pretending to be alpha females, still relying on their parents and boyfriends to pay for them everywhere. I ended by telling them to get a real job and stop harassing my girlfriend for attention. By then, I could hear some of them crying, while others tried to attack my girlfriend by calling her names, but it no longer mattered. I hung up the phone and blocked them all again from my girlfriend's phone. Now that we've finally gotten rid of this nonsense, my girlfriend and I are planning our vacation, and we're making it bigger and better than I had planned before. I think we've earned it.